I'm happy, Madam Speaker, that Senator Cherargei has drawn my attention to the importance of me as Senator of Nyamira tabling before this House, Madam Speaker, cases of Kenyans who are residents of Nyamira who have been unable to access SHA treatment in hospitals. And Madam Speaker, I undertake as the Senator of Nyamira that I'll come with those documents with the names of people from Nyamira who have not been able to access treatment in hospitals because SHA is not working. Madam Speaker, now...
Do you want to be informed by Senator Khalwale?
Okay, bullfighter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Senator Omogeni, for allowing me to inform you. I will also help you when you're presenting those names. I'll bring you the registration certificate of St. Mary's Hospital, Mumias, which was founded in 1932, where Senator Sifuna was born. It has always functioned until SHA came. 3 weeks ago, Madam Speaker, the hospital closed down because their claims were not being honored. I'll bring you that certificate so that you help us to stop the suffering of the people of Mumias and Kakamega because of the closure of St. Mary's Hospital, thanks to the poor funding model of SHA. SHA will not succeed until the funding model is properly addressed.
You have duly informed. Senator Omogeni.
Yeah. So Madam Speaker, the intervention by Senator Cherargei was very useful.
Senator Omogeni, proceed.
Yeah.
No, I have refused the point of clarification.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will. Yes. So, Madam Speaker, that's why we were elected as senators, Madam Speaker, because we must bring to the attention of the government of the day the suffering that a policy change is causing to our people. Madam Speaker, I have said this on this floor, Madam Speaker, that the interest of any senator is to ensure that you put smiles on the people you represent, Madam Speaker. What smile am I putting on people, Madam Speaker, if every time you go up country, you go to your county, you are reminded that NHIF used to help us access treatment in hospitals, Madam Speaker. I neighbor a mission hospital called Lichuni, Madam Speaker. And that is the best hospital in terms of facilities, run by the Catholic fathers, Madam Speaker. But as we speak, many people, including my own neighbors, are not able to access treatment in those hospitals, Madam Speaker. So what is the purpose of bringing a policy change, Madam Speaker, that brings pain to the people that we are supposed to lead, Madam Speaker? So I want to state on this floor that if you challenge us, Madam Speaker, to table the documents, I'll come even with a box of evidence to show you the kind of suffering Kenyans are going through. And when I was making reference to regulations, Madam Speaker, and building the point, Madam Speaker, that when I went to school, I was taught about a theory called cognitive, if I have not forgotten, cognitive theory, which says once you attain 12 years, you will never think the same. So even a cabinet secretary should know, or the executive should know, that when they propose a law, Madam Speaker, to the floor, the 68 senators don't have to think the same, Madam Speaker. You remember we made proposals to amend the housing levy. Very progressive proposals. They were rejected because we were told the position of the government must carry the day. Those taxes have caused a lot of pain, Madam Speaker. They have caused a lot of pain. That policy change remains very unpopular in this country, Madam Speaker. The housing levy. Because even the policemen, everybody is complaining. The pay slip has shrinked, Madam Speaker. Because as legislators, we are not given time to assist the executive to moderate some of these laws, Madam Speaker. Because that's why we are here, Madam Speaker. We are here so that when the government proposes a law, if it is oppressive to Kenyans, we moderate it, Madam Speaker. So I salute the spirit I've seen this afternoon, Madam Speaker, where we are closing ranks, Madam Speaker, to reject these regulations, Madam Speaker. Because a cabinet secretary cannot pick regulations where public participation was done 7 years ago. And then you say, now I'm gazetting these regulations and they must take effect. Madam Speaker, on the issue of public participation, the committee is telling us here, Madam Speaker, that there was no meaningful public participation. And I want to tell this House, Madam Speaker, that in some countries, public participation means that you vote on a proposed legislation. Madam Speaker, if you go to Switzerland, any proposed law, okay, like what we are just discussing, you want to deny Kenyans the right of using NHIF to share. Madam Speaker, you take that to a vote. That's what they call public participation. Our constitution has it there that there must be public participation, Madam Speaker. Next time we enact a law, Madam Speaker, let us make it very clear, Madam Speaker, that for any change in a policy that is as drastic as what I've seen in SHA or in Housing Levy, the people must vote on it. That's what we call public participation, Madam Speaker. If you go to Australia, Madam Speaker, any change in policy must have the approval of the people. Even proposing that a bar should close past 9, you take it to the people and they vote, Madam Speaker. In London, Madam Speaker, before you even cut a tree to affect the environment, the fresh air, in an area, you go to the people and they pass that policy in a vote, Madam Speaker. For the Australians to allow same-sex marriage, just changing the law to say a man can marry another man, they had to go to a referendum. It passed narrowly by 52%. They did not say that we just go and ask people here and there. No, the people had to vote on it. That's what we call meaningful public participation, Madam Speaker. Because what is the purpose of taking a law to the people? They tell you they don't disagree, Madam Speaker, but we still go ahead and enact it. Because we are exercising delegated power on behalf of the people who elected us to this House, Madam Speaker. That's why, Madam Speaker, when this the report of delegated committee tells us that there was no meaningful public participation, I fully agree with it, Madam Speaker. And that is what is guiding me this afternoon, Madam Speaker, in stating that I agree fully with the Committee on Delegated Legislation that we should reject these regulations, Madam Speaker. And, Madam Speaker, at times, we want to make it so hard for people who are coming to be investors in this country, Madam Speaker. Why are countries like Dubai ahead of us? It's because they have made it easy for people to do business. They have made it easy, Madam Speaker, for people to move to Dubai and build homes. But in this country, we are just thinking about regulations. How are we going to attract investors, Madam Speaker, if every day you want to put roadblocks? How? We cannot be competitive, Madam Speaker. It's 4 hours away between here and Dubai. In 1970, Dubai was not useless, it was a struggling third world country, a desert like us. But because of the policies, the regulations that they put in place that are very attractive, they tell you, this thing you call a tax, they say we will make your life comfortable. We will not overburden you in terms of the tax you pay. That's why even as a country, Madam Speaker, let us re-examine our taxation policy, Madam Speaker. Because if you overtax investors, they will go to other jurisdictions. They will go to Rwanda and look at the tax regime. If they find it more attractive, more accommodative, they will move there. And who suffers at the end of the day is us, Madam Speaker. And it's the people who come to invest who will provide employment to the many youths who are out there, who are jobless, Madam Speaker. Because government cannot employ everybody. These unemployed youths cannot all be absorbed by the Public Service Commission, Madam Speaker. So when we reject regulations that are going to make it burdensome, Madam Speaker, for investors to come, we are doing the right thing as the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, Madam Speaker. So I want to assure my good friend, Senator of Kericho, my neighbor, that I did not make my statements trying to impute any bad motive, Madam Speaker. But I was saying in a multi-party democracy like where we are, in a liberal democracy, under our 2010 Constitution, it is not a crime, Madam Speaker, at times to disagree with the legislation proposed by the executive. Madam, there is nothing criminal. That's why we are a multi-party democracy, Madam Speaker. That's why we are paid as Kenyans to receive legislations, take them through public participation, make a report to this House, and then the House either agrees or rejects. There's nothing criminal about it, Madam Speaker. And you know that those who are before us have made mistakes. The people who are here in this House passed Section 2A in 1982. But later on they realized it was a mistake. Yes, let's learn from history.
Senator Thangwa.
Very well. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also comment on this issue. Although, Madam Speaker,